The Goose Girl. Once upon a time, there was a princess named Annie. Annie loved to ride in the fields upon her horse, Falada. Falada could talk, so Annie and Falada would speak together. One day, Annie's father, the king, fell off his horse while he was out riding and died. The queen had only her daughter now. Soon, it became time for Annie to go to the next country to marry the prince who lived there. The queen gave Annie a handkerchief and said,
"Keep this handkerchief with you at all times. It will protect you against all evil."
"Thank you, Mother,"
said Annie. The queen bid her goodbye, and Annie and her maid set out. Annie rode her special horse, Falada, and the maid rode a pony. In time, they came to a brook, and the princess wanted a drink of water.
"I am thirsty. Please bring me some water,"
Annie asked her maid. The maid was rude and refused the princess's demand.
"No, I will not. If you are thirsty, get down yourself and go down to the water. I will not be your maid any more,"
the maid replied. The princess was so thirsty that she got down off her horse, knelt over the brook, and drank water. As she did so, the handkerchief fell into the water and drifted away. The maid saw it and knew that the princess was no longer protected. The maid insisted that she ride Falada, and the princess would ride the pony. She made the princess wear her maid's clothes, and she wore the princess's royal clothes.
"Aha! Now you will do what I say. Give me your horse to ride, and you will have my pony. Give me your clothes to wear, and you will have mine,"
the maid said. Then the maid threatened.
"Do not tell anyone what has happened."
Annie had to promise. They entered the neighboring kingdom and were greeted with great joy by the prince. The prince married the maid, and the real princess was sent to work with a goose boy. The maid was afraid that the horse Falada might tell someone the truth, so she talked to the prince.
"Kill Falada, the horse. He caused a lot of trouble on the way."
Annie heard that Falada would be killed. She begged the goose boy, who had been ordered to kill Falada, to find a way to save it. The goose boy took pity on Annie, so he agreed. He brought Falada to a barn. Every day, Annie passed by to visit and talk to Falada. The goose boy was often nearby and heard their story. One day, the goose boy told the king everything he'd heard them say. The king realized that Annie was the real princess. The maid was sentenced to death for her lies and treachery. Then the real princess, Annie, became the prince's wife, and they lived happily ever after.